and start recording because I know everybody else kind of has a lot going on. So y'all keep Sam and her family in your prayers. Her grandma died earlier this week, and I think the funeral and stuff is today. Um, I haven't talked to her, but I did see where she was posting asking somebody if they had like a tripod or something that they could use during the funeral. So I'm thinking that they're probably having to get pretty creative with having this funeral right now where you're not really allowed to have 10 people in a room. Um, so I know that that's all super hard to deal with. So keep her in your prayers, reach out to her, send her a message if you want. I'm sure she would really appreciate that. And hopefully she will be back with us on the calls soon, hopefully next week. And they're also moving. So her and Alex just bought a new house. And they were hoping to move in this week, like this past week. So I'm not sure if they got moved in or what. I need to reach out. I was trying to kind of just give her some space and everything because I know life is probably crazy for her right now. But I'm gonna reach out to her later today and just see how she's doing. But anywho, today what I want to talk about is something that we talked a little bit about last week, but something that we're kind of all struggling with, and that is just like determination and consistency and making sure we're staying plugged in to everything. Um, and making sure that we're showing up for ourselves and for our business the way that we want to. Because this business is not hard. Like we've all discovered this, like it's super simple. The vital things that we need to be doing every day to grow this business are super simple tasks. They're not complicated. The hardest thing about them is just being consistent and showing up and doing them every single day. Because this business really is just about consistency and building that trust and building relationships with people. And if you're not showing up every day, if you're not posting every day or talking on your stories every day or inviting every day, then you kind of just, it's almost like you have cracks in your business when you don't do that. It's like when you're doing it every single day, you're building this really strong foundation that your business can stand on. But if you are doing it one day and then skipping a day and then doing it one day and then skipping 2 days, it's like you have all these cracks in your business and it's not going to be stable and it's not going to grow, and it is going to be super hard to get to like achieving the goals that you want to achieve. So the first thing I want you to think about is, am I showing up the way that a top coach would show up for this business? And a lot of times it is super easy for us to put this on the back burner, even though it's super important to us. We put it on the back burner because we really don't have like this huge investment on the line, or like our backs are not up against the wall. Like, if I don't succeed in this, then it's going to be the worst thing ever. Like, I'm going to lose my house. Or if I don't succeed in this, then my kids are not going to be able to do the sports that they want to do. Like, like a lot of us don't have that situation where it's like, if we do not succeed in this, like we fail at so many other things. So it can be super hard to show up and do it every single day, even though it's super important to us. So think about how a top coach would show up for this business. They would be showing up for themselves first, every single day, first and foremost. They would be inviting every single day. They would be posting every single day and sharing their journey, all the parts of it, the good, the bad, the funny stuff. They would be trying to educate and inform and add value to everyone who is following them. They would be following up with people. They would just be being a light and showing up and talking about this business every single day. So I want to go back to this because it is so simple. It lines out everything that we need to be doing. It's your Success Club tracker. We need to be living and breathing by this thing, you guys, especially if we want to get to diamond, if we want to get to be an elite team this year. We have to live and breathe this tracker and make sure that we are checking off all the boxes every day. And are there going to be days where you don't get to every single little thing? Sure. But every single day, your goal needs to be to check off every single one of these boxes. And really and truly, when you sit down and focus and just like go down the list, it does not take as long as you think to do all the things. And so also don't forget like about our 4 vital behaviors as a coach, like making sure that we're doing those 4 things every day, which is being a product of the product. So doing your workout, drinking your shake, using all of your other supplements, like eating healthy, showing up for your own journey. That is your number 1. Number 2 is inviting, sharing this with other people. That is how we grow this business, is getting other people to do this with us, to either join our accountability groups or join our team as a coach to do this business with us. That is how we grow. And people a lot of times do not know that they can do this with you. They see you doing this and they don't necessarily know like, oh, I can do that too. Like they don't realize that until you reach out to them and are like, hey, would you want to do this with me? Number 3 is recognizing people for their accomplishments. So whether that is a fellow coach on our team that you see like killing it with their posts or their Instagram stories, or shouting out one of your challengers who is doing really well, who is maybe just brand new to the group, and introducing them, maybe sharing their results and shouting them out, talking about the things that our team is doing on your stories, like giving some kind of recognition to someone or to our team or something every day. And then the last thing, number 4, is your personal development. So what personal development are you doing? How are you working on yourself? Because like I have said a million times, this business is so simple, but it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. And that all comes down to your mindset about it and where you are in a mental space. And are you motivated? Are you feeling inspired? Are you overcoming whatever obstacles that are standing in your way? So think about what you're struggling with in your business. If you're struggling with consistency, if you're struggling with showing up, find a personal development book, find a podcast, find something that is going to talk and teach you about consistency and teach you about discipline and how to like implement the right habits that are going to get you to where you can show up every single day and get really consistent with where you want to go. So do your followers really know what you're doing? And do they know that they can do it too? So I just mentioned this, but make sure that you are literally in your stories and in your posts, talk about what you're doing. Talk about the nutrition that you're following. Talk about the workouts that you're doing. Talk about our team. Talk about our accountability group and what exactly do we do in there. What are you getting from all of this? And then make sure that people know that they can do it and join too, because a lot of times they don't. And are you sharing your story? Are you dropping little bits and pieces of your story of where you started and where you're at now? Are you talking about that? Sorry, guys. Are you talking about that every single day and dropping little pieces? This is something that I can get a lot better at too, because after you've been doing this for as long as I have, you kind of feel like, oh, well, everyone knows my story, but they don't. They really don't. And don't ever feel like, oh, well, I talk about this all the time, because more likely than not, the same people are not seeing it every single time you post it. And you can put a little different spin on the same piece of your story every single time that you tell it. And so that is super important. Um, so have you cast your vision? Have you told your followers where you're going with this? So maybe we're not there yet. Like, I want to be full-time coach so I can stay at home. And I'm not there yet, but I can talk about that on my stories. I can talk about the vision that I have and where I want to go. And I can talk about the kind of people who I want on my team to go there with me. And that is super important. So cast that vision so people know where you're headed, even though you're not there yet. And because that's what a lot of people get hung up on. They're like, well, I'm not a full-time coach yet, or I don't have this amazing transformation yet. That's okay. Talk about your goals. Talk about where you're going and how you're going to get there. I literally built my business to where it is now on 5 invites and 5 follow-ups every single day. Like, when I started this business, I was getting ready to start grad school. I started this business in July and I started grad school in August. And I literally built this business, became Success Club All-Star Legend on 5 invites and 5 follow-ups every single day. And that takes literally like 10 minutes to sit down and do. And that is what we need to focus on, is just 5. And then if you get to the end of your day and you have 30 more minutes that you want to sit down and work on your business and you want to invite some more people, do it. But just make sure you are getting those 5 invites and 5 follow-ups sent out every single day, you guys, and just showing up and building that trust like we've talked about so many times. So the next thing I have is, are you staying plugged into this community? So something that is going to help with your consistency, with your motivation, with showing up, is staying plugged in. So to our accountability group, are you checking in there every single day? Are you checking into the team pages that we're on? Are you popping into the message pods that we have going on? Are you listening to the wake up call? I have not had my Energized yet, or coffee, if you can't tell. Are you listening to the National Wake Up Call every week? Those things keep you plugged into this community and keep you pushing, because that is how you are going to surround yourself with people who are inspiring you. So I'm really good friends with a coach. She's a full-time coach already, but she literally pushes me every single week because I'm in a coaches group with her on Facebook. It's called Boss Babes Mastermind. I think some of you are in there too. But her name's Bailey, and she literally is like Success Club 30 every single month. Like, she crushes it. And being in groups and message pods and stuff with her pushes me to work harder in my business and to set bigger goals for my business, because I know if she can do it, then I can do it. And listening to the National Wake Up Call every week, it's on Monday. So it literally is like a fresh start every single Monday of something that is going to inspire you. So every single time, the coach that's on there will tell her story at the end and how Beachbody has changed her life. And every single time I listen to those, I get inspired. And I'm like, okay, time to go get to work, because I want that kind of story too. So stay plugged into things. Make sure you're commenting on the accountability post every day. Make sure you're checking into the team page when I share stuff in there. If you have questions, oh my gosh, go to the message pods and send them in there. That way we can all talk about them together. Next, I have, do you need to set business hours? I know we have talked about this. This is something that I definitely need to do. What is the hardest thing, or the one thing that you always avoid in your business? So what's the one thing on this sheet that you hate doing or you always avoid it? That is the thing that you need to do first. So I don't know if y'all have ever read the book Eat That Frog. I think it's by Brian Tracy, but it is about doing that hardest thing that you hate the most. Those are usually the things that you need to do the most and that are going to be the biggest needle movers. For us, that's probably inviting. So if that's the thing that you always avoid, do that first thing in the morning. So get up, do your morning routine, do your personal development for yourself, but maybe before you let yourself press play on that workout, you send out 5 invites. And as soon as your workout is done, while you're waiting on your breakfast to cook or you're waiting to get in the shower, you send those 5 follow-up messages. Get those things done first thing in the morning. That way you're not thinking about them all day long and procrastinating them even more and making them to be a bigger bear than they really are, because it's really not that scary. It's really not that hard. We just put it off and think about it and put it off and think about it some more. And then it gets to be 9 o'clock at night and we don't want to sit down and do it. And so we don't. But if we just did it first thing in the morning, I think I'm going to make that a challenge for all of us, is to start getting our invites done in the morning hours. So whatever that looks like for you, if that is before work, if it's before your workout, whatever it is, like, we need to start checking in with each other and making sure we're sending out our invites and our follow-ups first thing in the morning, because that's the thing that we're struggling with. So the last thing I have, this is kind of like a super short, just a little things to think about and a little motivation for us this morning. But you have to want this for yourself. I can't want this for you. I can't give you the discipline. I can't give you the will or the want to work hard to do this. You have to want this for yourself. Your dream has to be important enough for you. You have to have a big enough why that is going to motivate you. This is not like a normal job where you have a boss who's going to be like, hey, like, you got to do this, this, and this today. No, this is entrepreneurship. This is your business. You have total control over what you do or what you don't do with this business. You can take it as it is. You can sit here and stay right where you're at and not really ever grow. And just because you don't want to put in the work, or you can see the potential, see the earning opportunity, see the impact that you could make on this world, and you could double down and work hard and put in the work and achieve every single dream that's on your vision board. But it's totally up to you. We do this together. We're a team. I'm always here for you, but you are the one that has to do the work. So think about your dreams and your goals that you wrote down, and where you want to be in a year, where you want to be in 5 years. And then I want you to think about, what does it actually take for me to get to that? What are the things that I will have to do? What are the things that I might have to sacrifice in order to make those dreams a reality? And then ask yourself, am I willing to actually do those things? Because sometimes those things are not aligned. Sometimes the what that's going to get you to that dream, maybe you're not really willing to do that, and you're not willing to give up those things. And if that's the case, then that's okay, but you have to recognize that and know, like, okay, this is what I say I want. This is what it's going to take to get there. Am I willing to do it? If the answer is yes, then we got to double down and get to work. And if the answer is no, then we got to reevaluate those goals and get it to a point to where you are willing to do the work to achieve those goals. So maybe it might take you longer than you initially wanted it to, but depending on what's going on in your life and everything else, like, you just have to know, am I willing to actually do it? And then go and do it. So that is all of the points that I had written down for today. Just showing up. Just show up and don't overcomplicate it. Share your story every single day. Invite people to do it with you. And if my thing is, if you are not talking to people like individually, one-on-one, your business is not going to grow, because you have to get into people's inboxes. You have to have that one-on-one conversation with them before they're ever going to get to the point where they want to do it with you. You might have people reach out to you first, but you still have to have that one-on-one conversation. So I can always tell if I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing to build my business, if my business is growing, is if I have an inbox of messages to get back to every single day or not. And if I'm inviting and following up every day, then I always have a bunch of messages to get back to. And that's what I will do. I will just clear out my messages that I have and then send out my new invites. So, does anybody have any questions? I need some energize. I'm going to unmute you guys.
I don't know.
You what?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
I was being smart.
That's okay. That's okay. No, I think what, okay, how did you get your Success Club tracker in that little spiral notebook? Did you make it?
Yeah, so I just printed out like enough for the whole year.
Yeah.
Take them to like Office Depot or Staples or something, and they'll spiral it for you for like $5. And then I just made like a little cover page for it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I need this.
yeah, I like this because it, like, I can literally look back and be like, you worked really hard that week and then you didn't do crap for a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is a lot of times, like, if you're struggling with like, okay, I'm not hitting Success Club, then if you have all of your trackers and you know if you've been doing the work or not, you can look back and be like, well, I have been doing the work, but nothing's happening. So then we need to reevaluate and reflect and see, okay, what do we need to change? And then if you look back and you're like, well, I'm not hitting Success Club because I'm not doing the work, then
Right.
it's not because of any certain thing you're doing, it's because of the things that you're not doing. So that's like for the last, so I had been doing super well. I can look back at this. And then last week, starting on Sunday, it was like Sunday through Sunday, I literally looked like I didn't do anything because I wasn't really even like filling out my tracker. So that's on me. Like, and we have to, and like when I say this, I'm talking to myself because I've been reading this book. It's called Start with Why. And it's really kind of more geared towards like leaders in corporate settings, like managers of big companies and stuff. But a lot of the things can apply to this too. And it's talking about like you have to lead by example. And if you are not putting whatever it is that you're wanting your team to do or your future team, like you have to be doing the work first. Like they're not ever going to exceed past whatever you're doing. So I'm just like totally putting myself out there that I have not been leading by example like I want to.
Yeah.
Like, really and truly. And that has got to change or we're not gonna become an elite team this year. We're not gonna like advance and go to diamond and 5-star and all that. Like it's just not gonna happen because I've got to get my crap together. But
Right.
and that goes for like you guys too and the teams that you want to build. So in order for you to get to diamond, you've got to be the example for the coaches that you want to have on your team. So sit down and say like, what kind of characteristics do my future coaches on my team, what kind of characteristics do I want them to have? And then make sure you are embodying those things every single day.
There you are.
Yeah, because I was reading Dave Hollis's new book yesterday, and there was one thing I read that was talking about how like we hold ourselves back because we're like scared of success as much as we're scared of failure. And
Yeah.
I was looking for it because it was one of those things I wanted to like mention. I meant to share it in the group yesterday and never did. So
That's very true.
I was like, maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, I think I do that a lot. Honestly.
It is scary, and it is something like you just have to get out of your own head. And I'm reading Get Over Your Damn Self right now, and like I'm already on the second chapter, and it's like already talking to me, and I'm like, "Yep, come on, keep preaching to me. I know I'll take it."
Yeah, that's a good book. I need to read that book again.
I mean, like honestly, just having it on your bookshelf, or like when you get to these moments of like determination and consistency, like go read that again. Because like within the first 2 chapters, they'll already call you out on everything.
For sure. I have so many books that I want to read again. And it's like
Yeah.
I finally like have kind of got my office workout room set up in here. And I got my bookshelf put together. And so it's like I'm working out and then I can look over and I'm like looking at all the books I have and I'm like, oh, I need to read that again. I need to read that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about maybe either trying to do like a book club thing or like us switching books around or like start a book club and maybe come up with like a reading plan or something to give to people and like a list of books for like the year or like 6 months or something and
Yeah,
do that possibly.
that would be fun.
I was like, I know you've tried. I was like, Allison's tried. I was like, it just never really goes very well.
Yeah, it's hard with like people who are already reading a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard with teams, I think, personally, like with a team or with an accountability group, because a lot of times people are already reading other stuff. But if you were thinking to do it like as a free group type thing with other people, I think it would probably work a lot better. Like I have done it like that before and it actually did work really good.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. Like we actually started our own little messaging pod on the WhatsApp. Me and Christy did, and so like we've been texting this week and just like, hey, what'd you do today? Like, what have you got done? Stuff like that, and just kind of like just trying to check in with each other, see where we're at, see what struggles we had that day, and what we need to do today. Like she talked about like when she invited this week, and which was super awesome. And she made that free group for like to do the sample workouts and stuff.
Mhm.
And she's been killing it at that. And so it's been really nice just to have like just like that one person, rather than the big WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So, but we were talking. I said, all these girls have so many of these books, and I said, we just need to mail them to each other. I was like, because we're gonna spend so much money buying all of these books, and I was like, let's just mail them and then read them and then mail them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do that. I've given a lot of my books away.
Yeah.
And it's like I regret it, like, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm giving you this to read, but I want you to give it back, and then
Right.
people just never really do, or you forget that you gave it to them. But yeah, because I'm one of those weird people where I'm like, I hoard all my books. I want to keep them all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we decided we might like trade on like between like a small group or like a few of us, and then that way we get them back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't write in any of mine, so I always write.
Well, I highlight in mine. Always do. But what was I gonna say? Oh, you can write off all of your books you buy on your taxes.
Yeah, as a coaching expense.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, see. I need this.
All
Hey,
your books.
End up canceling Summit.
Do I think
Did
they
they?
will?
Yeah.
I don't know if they will or not. I think it's too early for them to do anything yet.
I know. I just really hope they don't.
I hope they don't either.
Yeah, because like that's my goal here. Like I'm like pushing so hard to get this free ticket to something.
Yeah, you can totally.
So
You-
it's in July, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's the weekend of my birthday, so it's like this.
Ah,
Yeah, it's like the 17th, 18th, 16th, 17th, 18th, whatever weekend that is.
okay. So do I have to hit Success Club like my first 3 months or just the 3 months before July?
So it used to be that it had to be your first 3 months. And this year they've changed it to where it's it's 3 out of your first 6 months. So
Okay.
you could hit it like your first month, your third month, and your fifth month, and you would qualify. But in order for you to get the free ticket for Summit this year, I would push to hit it this month and next month.
Yeah.
Just because if you get too close to the actual event, then it'll end up being a free ticket for next year.
Okay.
Depending on the timing.
Okay. Okay.
And even if you get your free ticket and then they cancel Summit, like they'll still give it to you for next year. Like,
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I feel like if they cancel Summit, like, will they just move it, or will it just be like canceled altogether?
I don't know. I would think they would try to just reschedule it, but the only thing that is weird about that is like getting the dates for the conference speakers, and then also they bring speakers in to talk to us. So it depends on like their schedules and what they have available. So I don't know. I feel like rescheduling it would be really difficult.
Or yeah.
I hope that they would try to do that and not just cancel it.
Okay.
Yeah, she can play with his toys.
Mhm.
I have extra people and an extra dog.
Oh,
My niece is here for the week since she's out of school.
gotcha.
Fun.
Yeah, I get an extra week during the school year that I don't normally get.
There you go.
Nice. So I'm going to try really hard over this weekend to plan out next week and try to get some ideas and stuff down for posts and stuff that I want to do. I'm also going to send you guys something that I like to use for my posts, which is basically like there's three or four different types of posts that you can do. And every single one is not going to get the same kind of engagement. So the first type is an engagement post. So where you're asking people to do something or asking them to comment, asking them for advice on something, for their recommendation, whatever. Like you're asking people to engage with your post. The next one is a product post. So like where you're talk about your shake or talk about Energize or talk about your home workouts, like something that has to do with like what we do. The third is a business breadcrumb post. So where you're not inviting to the business, but you're just talking about the business and talking about little different aspects of it. So breadcrumbing little things about it. So either talking about the community or talking about our team call today or talking about the tracker that you get or the trainings that we have, like little things like that. And then your last type is an invite post. So basically one where it's like, okay, I've been talking about this, like breadcrumbing things all week long. And then like on Sunday night, you make a post that's like, tells a little bit about your story, say something about your accountability group that you have coming up or your free group or whatever you're doing. And then saying, comment below if you'd like to join us or send me a direct message if you'd like to join us. So getting into that, just making sure like I have those different kinds of posts throughout the week is super helpful, and something that I learned from a guy who is, his name is Josh Coates. I don't know if y'all have heard of him, but he works with network marketing people a lot. He works with a lot of Beachbody coaches, and that is kind of the outline that he teaches. And I did it about a year ago. I was like super diligent about it, and it was super helpful. Like he has this, I'll tag you all in it, but he has this tracker. It's called the Art of Recruiting Tracker, and it's in Radiant Empire. I've shared it before, but it basically tells you like what type of post to do each day. The tracker is set up for you to do 2 posts every day, but really like that's kind of like old and outdated, but you can pick one of those posts and maybe like do one of them as your post for the day and then do the other one like in your stories or something. But then it also has like making sure that you're starting new conversations with people and inviting and following up, like all of those things. And I was super diligent about following his tracker for a month. And then I think it was like the month after that, I hit like Success Club 22 or something, like one of my highest. So it definitely works. And I got to get back to it. And it's not like it's hard. It's just like being diligent about following it. So I'm going to try to get back to that because I know that it works. And I'm also started reading this book. Hang on. I got to go get it.
No, let me go. You can play with that. If she rips the stuff out, you gotta clean it up.
So I've started reading this book. It's by him, Josh Coates, but it's called F Leadership. But it's how to motivate and mentor your team to true success. And actually, like I got this book for free. I just had to pay for the shipping. I'll have to try to see if I can find a link where if you all want to try to get it too. I think it would be really cool for all of us to read it just because we're all trying to like learn and grow and develop ourselves into leaders, because that is really how you are successful in this business, is leading a team. And that's where I got the first thing that I talked about earlier is he has it's called the 4 M's of leadership. So you have to model. So that means being the example, leading by example, model, motivate, and then mentor. And the last M is multiply. So basically you start out by modeling and leading by example, and then that attracts people onto your team who then you have people to motivate and inspire, and then you begin to see the people who really want this and really are willing to work hard, and you start mentoring them, and then multiply is basically like duplication in your business. So like teaching people to do what you do, and it just keeps growing. So I'm only on the first couple chapters, but it's really good so far. So y'all want to check that out too. Anything?
Yeah, send us the link if you can find it. I'll go get it.
I will.
Yeah.
I gotta let me write this stuff down or I will forget.
I have so many books. Like every time we talk, we always write down a list of books.
You should see my Amazon. I just like put them in my cart and then save them
Yeah.
for later.
Yeah.
Let her play with the big one. It'll make her tired.
Oh gosh. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm gonna stop
I'll take a picture.